And so it begins. Hey yo, this is Dash. Yeah. Okay guys, so today is another day. Today I'm going to be cooking some beef, some chicken, and some pork. Alright, so as you can tell by the title, I'm catering an event for my kids' basketball, the organization. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be the girls and the boys for my son's school. Well, my kid's school, because all three of them go there. But the basketball organization is having a banquet, you know, an end of season banquet, and they asked me to do the majority of the food. So, now you guys know chicken is cheaper than beef and pork is cheaper than beef, but people like the brisket, or people like my brisket a lot, so that's why they kind of ordered that. This order is pretty much all over. Typically, when I do catering events, I usually recommend an even split between beef, chicken, and pork. Those people who eat pork will eat pork, and they usually will eat some beef and chicken. Those people who don't eat pork will eat beef and chicken, and those people who don't eat beef or pork will most likely eat chicken. And those people who don't eat beef, beef, chicken, or pork, that's just a huge mistake, if you ask me. Anyway, I want to show you guys. So right now, my smoker, we got Bessie going today, or I have Bessie going today, and she's just under 250 degrees, probably about 230 on this side, and she's at 225 on this side. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get Bessie opened up. I've already rinsed her down and gotten her worked out, but I wanted to give you a little bit of a pro tip. So, when you're getting ready to load food into the smoker, because of the fact that the smoker is gonna be open, the temperature is gonna drop. Makes sense, right? So what I'm gonna do to preempt the temperature dropping, or to help it recover, oh, there's my thermometer telling on me. To help it recover is I'm gonna load the smoker up with wood. Now, usually I don't throw any more than 2 or 3 sticks in the smoker at any one time. But now I'm gonna be putting 5 or 6 sticks in, or splits in, at the same time, and that'll give off that noxious smoke that you don't want. Because I'm gonna have the smoker open while I am getting everything in, while the noxious smoke you don't want is burning off, I'm gonna be loading the smoker so that it won't actually go into the food. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm gonna get to work. You guys see this thick white smoke coming out of the smoker? This is what I don't want in my food. So again, this is why I went ahead and put the wood into the smoker while I'm going to get the smoker loaded. So by the time I finish loading the smoker, all of this thick white smoke will have dissipated and I'll be ready to start. First up today is going to be my brisket. Next up, I have my chicken breast. I'm hoping that I can fit them all onto that far end of the smoker there. It's about 25 pounds of chicken breast. So I got all the chicken breast up here. Next order of business is gonna be my chicken thighs. Now you probably can't tell, or hopefully you can tell, those are boneless, skinless breasts, and I'm gonna be using boneless, skinless thighs. Now I'm hoping to use no more than 3/4 of this bottom shelf here. Now, the boneless, skinless thighs, they come pretty much, you know, deboned and then they're flattened out. What I do is I kind of ball them up and make them like this. One, so they take up less room on the smoker, and two, because if they're too flat, they'll cook too fast and I don't want that. Okay, so the chicken is loaded. We have the brisket done, 25 pounds of boneless, skinless breast, and it's about 25 pounds of boneless, skinless thighs. Their order was 35 pounds, so I'm going to do a little bit of an overage. I'm cooking an overage so that I can make sure I have enough. Last but not least is going to be the pork shoulder. And we're done. So now, all I'm gonna do is close up the smoker, close Bessie up, and I'm gonna go ahead and monitor my fire for a couple hours, and I'll see this stuff in a bit. I made it. Oh, before I close this up, can you guys see that a good portion of this thick white smoke is dissipated? And we don't have that real thick white smoke. I'm gonna adjust my fire just a little bit, and after that, we should be pretty much done. And I will just watch the temperatures in the smoker for the next couple hours before I have to do anything with my chicken.
Later.
Yo, well, actually, no, we're well into this video. So here's the deal. I wanted to show you guys before I start prepping exactly what I need to. The pork is finished. I finished the pork, but actually the pork was the last thing to finish, so I actually brought it inside and put it in the oven. The 3 briskets, I had someone ask me not too long ago if I always finished my food in the oven, in the house in the oven. The answer again is no. The reason why the majority of the time I finish a lot of the food that I cook in the oven is because of the fact that if I don't have enough stuff to stay out in the smoker, or if I'm only cooking 1 or 2 things that I can finish inside in the house in the oven, then I will. So let me show you guys this. So my pulled pork is actually cooling. I'm trying to let that cool for at least an hour. My briskets, same thing. I let them cool for at least an hour. And in the Cambro, I have my chicken. So the chicken is actually still warm when I finished. When the chicken finished, I put it into the Cambro immediately so it would stay warm and I'm getting ready to cut it up and to get it prepped for my event. So next step, I'm not really gonna show you guys how I cut up chicken because I'm just cutting up chicken. I'm not gonna show you how I slice up the brisket because I've showed you that before. I even have a video out there of me pulling pork, so not gonna show you that. Once it's done though, I'll come back and I will we'll wrap this up. Alright, so unfortunately, I guess this is quick story time. So obviously you guys can see the title of the video. I think this is like, I call it basketball banquet or something. At least that's what I started saving this file as. So let me just kind of catch you up to speed. So unfortunately, I bought some extra batteries for my camera. I'm gonna apologize for the road noise, but I bought some extra batteries for my camera, and I kind of carry them with me or in this little pouch that you've seen on my side if you've seen some of my videos. Problem is, I bought the cheapy, you know, little 10 buck or 15 buck batteries off of Amazon, and I broke them. So I had 2 extra batteries and both of them snapped off. So when I went to try and use the extra batteries, they were both broken, kind of SOL. So unfortunately, I don't have much footage other than what you just saw in that time lapse of me setting up the food, and then I stopped the camera, or excuse me, of me setting up the station, and then me kind of putting the food out and then serving some. I was checking the camera every now and again, and I saw that the camera was still on while I was serving some food, but I didn't have a closing while I was there at the in the cafeteria. So I'm gonna kind of do it now. I haven't looked back at the footage, so I don't quite know what you saw or what you didn't see, but I'm gonna hopefully try to, you know, maybe answer a question or two and talk. Well, I'm not gonna do a lesson learn. I'll probably do a lesson learn for this event on a separate video. The event turned out great. The food was done, I won't say on time. I hate to be rushed, and I'd rather be ahead of schedule, but you guys saw I got up at 3:30 in the morning and I got it all done. So I got up at 3:30 in the morning and I had everything set up and delivered in less than 12 hours. So you guys who talk about cooking for 12 to 18 hours, there's no need for that. And that wasn't even with me putting briskets or pork shoulder in the oven. The pork shoulder did go in the oven, but the briskets did not. They stayed out in Bessie. So you guys who want to claim or talk about, again, double-digit hours of cook time, it's not necessary. But the event as a whole was a success. Everyone who had the food really enjoyed it. I got a couple people, and this is where you guys ask about how do I get catering jobs. I do one job to 200 people, and I get 10 to 15 people who will inquire and ask for business cards. Oh man, I really need some of this for my, you know, my work. Like, I had a woman come up to me and she asked me, could I, you know, cook and do different things for a Baltimore City school. I said, sure, you know, please just let me know what it is you want, when you need it, and then, you know, who do I talk to about getting a check, basically. And that's how I've gotten this far. You do one event and you have 100 people. Of those 100 people, maybe 2 people ask. Of those 2 people who ask, 1 might actually follow through, and they might have an event for another 100 people. Again, 2 to 5 people will ask for cards, 1 to 2 people will actually ask for and set up an event. You got to remember, there's 12 months in a year. There's 4 weeks in every month. I'm trying to do 2 to 4 events every single month. Doesn't always happen. This is mid-April, and I have taken care of 2 events so far, and I think I have another event coming closer to the end of the month, but we'll see. That's pretty much how this whole thing goes, how it rolls. You guys who ask questions about how to get started, you get started by getting your food out there. You get your food out there, you let somebody try it, that one person tells another person, and it's word of mouth, and it'll grow exponentially if the food is good. I stay kind of busy, my food is pretty decent. I mean, don't trust a skinny cook. You guys see my videos. Anyway, thank you as always for watching. If you have any more questions about this specific event, please leave them down below, and I will try to get to your questions as soon as possible. But again, thank you as always for watching. If you like what you saw, if you learned something today, please leave me a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time.